Thank you so much for joining us on Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Welcome to the show. As always, we will be looking at some of the headlines across the papers this morning on the first half of the show. And during the second half, we will look at some of the stories in details. And we start off from the Nation newspaper. The headlines from the Nation newspaper. A daily story here says, make national interest priority, Gowon tells North's leaders. And also, fire engulfs Radio Nigeria in Lagos. That's Radio Nigeria Lagos office. Sad one there. Governor Sule to North leaders. We must stop using Almajiris to hold Nigeria to ransom. Okay. President Tinubu in France for talk with Macron. And also, okay. We move on to the Punch newspaper now, and Port Harcourt refinery marketers threaten boycott as NNPCL juggles petrol price. And terrorism, Finnish court sets May 2025 deadline for Ekpa's trial. And reps to probe 8.4 trillion naira allegedly withheld by NNPCL. And tax panel to defend bill. Okay, this happened yesterday. EFCC, okay, Tinubu to name new envoys after France and South Africa visit. Stella Obasanjo Hospital, PDP knocks Governor Pobela for attacking Obaseki. And reps to summon CBN banks over unverified POS operators. Federal government spends 8.8 billion naira to repair vandalized power towers. This is according to the TCN. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper. And it lists with this story, Fubara begins payment of 85,000 naira minimum wage to River State workers. And federal government has spent 8.8 billion naira to repair vandalized power towers. We took that before. Shell starting arbitration hearing with companies. Okay. Reps screen General Oluyede as substantive Chief of Army Staff. All right, we move on to Daily Trust newspaper now, and it lays with this story: Ted Fund suspends foreign scholarship over cost and abscondment. World leaders react to Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire. How leaked memo exposed trends in securing admission into varsities. National Agric Show, sector challenges resonate with farmers. All right, we move on to this day newspaper now, and says rowdy session in Senate over landmark tax reform bills. And still staying with the Senate wades into FG's 1.6 trillion naira debt to Egbe industry. And major marketers suspend petrol import, now sourced from Dangote refinery. Doubts over peace deal as US claims win for Hezbollah-Israel 60-day ceasefire. We move on to the Guardian newspaper now. Oyebanji unveils therapy center for children with disabilities. That's a good one. And war of GDP size, Nigeria returns to battlefield. And MKO Abiola Stadium, how not to keep a legacy monument for sport. And still staying with the Guardian newspaper, why states should access UBE fund, prioritize basic education. Transport-related accidents cause most children's death. That's from the Lagos State government. Institute charges inductees to acquire right skill for professionalism. And more commendation trailed the reopening of Port Harcourt refinery. Investment bankers commit to supporting government's $1 trillion economy target. Customs seizes 85.5 million naira smuggled goods in Adamawa. Major marketers lift over 2 million liters of petrol daily from Dangote refinery. And community protests road design flooding in Rivers State. Gani Adam lauds Lagos State University's initiatives for sustaining Yoruba language. And Senate committee worries over 1.6 trillion naira debt owed by Egbe Power Station. I created most states to douse fear of northern domination, says General Gowon. Constrained economy, business environment, weakening key sectors. This is according to the LCCI. And my priorities, my policies, projects, public-driven, says Governor Adeleke. Rivers State Governor disbands Transport Task Force over harassment and extortion. And the 5 dead as Delta speaker narrowly escapes boat accident. ICPC rearraigns Dawn, others over certificate racketeering, money laundering. Anambra Police nab kidnapping suspect, rescues victims. And back to Rivers State, pro-Wike lawmakers pass Commission of Inquiry bill. And Nigeria's internet disparity continues as 68% of global population connects. Capitalization dips by 482 billion naira amid losses in 26 stocks. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. Tax reform bills, Nigerians earning below 1 million naira annually exempted from income tax. Okay. Benefits and dangers of full financial autonomy for judiciary. This is coming from Senior Advocates of Nigeria. And why we broke Nigeria into 12 states. Still General Gowon talking. Anambra attracts $500 million funding commitment. Strategic partnerships. And Nigeria UK £7.5 billion trading volume. Minister calls for more. Tax reform bills, Nigerians earning. Yes, we've taken that before. Okay, Senate screens Oluyede behind closed doors, set to confirm him. Tinubu appoints MKO Abiola's son, Jamil, senior aide on linguistic and foreign matters. Nigerians await impact benefit. Peter Obi reacts as Port Harcourt refinery begins operation. All right, we move on to some other papers now. Let's take a look at what penpushing.com is saying today. And there's a lead story here. Governor Abiodun appoints 2 new permanent secretaries. Okay, still looking at penpushing.com. Fire guards Radio Nigeria office in Lagos. And still with penpushing.com, Tinubu begins state visit to France. All right, those are the headlines we could take on the papers today. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll look at some of the stories in detail. In-house analyst is already standing by to do that. We'll take a short break now. When we return, newspaper review will continue in a moment. Please don't go away. The program returns shortly.
Nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Shiki, shiki. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
Oya o my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top make we talk am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
The issues.
Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retire without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Hussein cannot be divorced from those who cause the crisis. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that?
He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Umweti on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
The Renewed Hope Agenda for Nigeria is the brainchild of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. It is geared towards renewing the hopes of Nigerians for a better future through its policies, projects, and programs that are aimed towards lifting the GDP and economic growth of the nation by improving standard of living of the average Nigerian. The Renewed Hope Agenda Radio is poised to promote all of the above while enlightening Nigerians as well. Join us every Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. on Citizen FM Radio, 93.7, Labor House, Central Business District, Abuja. Renewed Hope Agenda Radio on 93.7 FM. The future starts today.
We believe in this nation.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. Let's tell this paper review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. Welcome to the second half of the show. And this is the part where we look at the stories in detail. And to help us do that is our in-house analyst, Mr. Salmon Salami. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, Lawrence Mwiti.
Mr. Salami is the Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. And as usual, he will help us make sense of some of the stories as we proceed. Mr. Salami, let's start off with this day newspaper. And the paper leads with the screaming headline, Senate in row this session over landmark tax reforms. And this is the story. The Senate was thrown into a rather session yesterday following the decision of its leadership to admit the federal government team driving the landmark tax reform bills with tax breaks for the poor and vulnerable into the red chamber. Trouble started when the leader of the Senate, Opeyemi Bamidele, announced that there were visitors who would be coming to the chambers to brief the lawmakers on the proposed tax reform bill. And after that, drama erupted and a lot of things. That is not very important for this discussion. Concern now is about the tax bill proper. And eventually, the presidential team was allowed into the chambers to make their point. Mr. Salami, it looks as if this proposed bill is really generating a lot of controversies.
Once again, good morning, our Siemens Super Citizen listeners. Yes, the reformed tax reform bill, it is generating a lot of controversy because it has everything to do with parting with money. And you know, unfortunately, a certain section of the country are taking a position even when they have not read the bill. Quite many people do not even know what is contained in the bill. I've been saying it, that reasonable decisions are not taken when emotion is in charge. The brain should be in charge. It is when you engage the brain first, the head, before you put on the gear. I wouldn't know why we find it extremely difficult to even allow the food to talk before we react, not realizing that perhaps, probably, you could still say something reasonable. Thank God that eventually reason prevailed and they allowed the presidential team into the Allo chamber of the Senate. And do you know that former Senator Shehu Sani sent a chat that has gone viral that a friend of his came to his house and he was raking about the proposed tax reform bill. Why would they do this? And he said that what particular section
of the bill
that
you are uncomfortable with?
That you're uncomfortable. And he said, I've not read it. Honestly, I've not read it. Does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't.
In actual fact, the bill from my own layman's point of view is even beneficial to the poor and to the middle class. You do not need to pay a dime if you earn less than X income. And the bill again stipulates that it is not necessarily where the company that produces is located that will get the VAT. It is where it is being consumed. These are some of the earth-shaking changes, innovatives, that the bill seeks to bring into existence. For example, I do not think that it makes a lot of sense to me. It doesn't even make any. That it is preferable for you to share part of the VAT from alcohol when you do not want alcohol to be consumed in your state. Fine, there is nothing bad in saying that in my state there will be no sale of alcohol. But if there is no way you will say that the excreta of the hen is not good, but its lap is very good on chicken or rice. We should learn to put our mouth where our money is. That is the way to go. There are so many changes and innovations in the bill, and at the end of the day, you will realize that it is not only equitable, it is just and fair, and that is the sensible thing to do. And I pray that at the end of the day, reason
will prevail. Yes, and before we go, this is just to let our teaming listeners know that that bill, you can find it on our website. If you just go to citizen.com, citizen93.com.ng, you will see a full copy of that bill. You will even see a summary of the bill. So you just take a look. Don't take the words of politicians for it. Read the bill yourself, especially if you're a young Nigerian. Go through it and make up your opinion. Let's move on to the Tribune newspaper. Mr. Salami, look at the story. I don't know what to make of it. Federal government has spent 8.8 billion naira to repair vandalized power towers. And the federal government says it has spent 8.8 billion naira to repair and put into functional use transmission towers vandalized across the country. This was disclosed by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Transition Company of Nigeria. The man, who was represented by an officer of the service, said that between January 13, 2024 and now, 128 transmission towers have been destroyed either by vandals or bandits across the country. Mr. Salami.
When you read that story, what came to my mind is this: 8.8 billion spent on vandalized towers. Fine, that they have said that 128 towers were destroyed either by bandits or
vandals.
Fine. It is not enough to tell us that the amount of money you have spent on the repair. Tell us, give us the specifics. In Ogun State, X number of towers were vandalized or destroyed. 1 in Odeda, 1 in this thing. The one in Odeda, so amount was spent on it. The one in so amount was spent on it. Then we will now know exactly what to do. 1, about the vandals. 2, about the people around. The so-called vandals are no ghosts. They are human beings. They live somewhere. They are somebody's brother. They are somebody's children. They are somebody's neighbor. And when they did it, they weren't in the space. A vehicle brought them there. Chances are that a vehicle or a means of transport will take them out of that place, and they will pass through so. And when you talk of vandalization, it's not as if that they just destroyed it for the sake of destroying it. They must scatter it away. Some few things. How did they carry it? This is where citizen participation in governance is very key. We've been saying it. At the end of the day, it's taxpayers' money that they have used to repair this. It costs money. It's your money. It's my money. This is why we have been saying it here, that whenever you see something, say something. Until we learn to do what I call collective ownership of public infrastructure. Unless we do that, we may not heave a sigh of relief.
All right. I think it's very important for us to emphasize that aspect of citizen involvement in things like this. Law enforcement agents can never be everywhere. It's bad enough that you want the deployment of agents across some of this installation, but we need information, especially in communities, far-flung areas, and so many other things like that. We need information. They need information. The police needs information. The DSS needs information, and so many others, so that we're able to cap. Can you imagine what that kind of money would do to the healthcare system in Nigeria? Can you imagine what it would do to education, even at the local government level? So it's not just enough for us to keep spending money on things that are avoidable at the end of the day, Mr. Salami. Let's move on to the Tribune newspaper. Reps screen Oluyede as substantive Chief of Army Staff. The acting Chief of Army Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, on Wednesday appeared before the House of Representatives Joint Committees on Defense and Army at the National Assembly for screening for confirmation as a substantive Chief of Army Staff. While addressing the committees, he promised enhanced security that would bring a lasting peace to the country if confirmed in a substantive position. The acting Chief of Army Staff stressed that the security environment in the country today required a united effort on the part of every Nigerian, and he called for strong bilateral and multilateral alliances with neighboring countries, as well as deep collaboration and joint effort by services and other security agencies. Mr. Salami, the General has raised some very fundamental issues here. He just spoke about the one we just talked about now, talking about the effort, united effort of every Nigerian in the issue of security.
Yes, it's good that the acting chief of Army Staff, General Olufemi Olukoyede, he has come prepared. It's not new to this, and he has his job well cut out for him. We want people, we are lucky to have people like that. And what he's saying is not different from what General Christopher Musa has been saying, that security is everybody's business. That until we now own security, nothing much could be achieved. Why? These are security agencies, and these top brass, they are not miracle workers. They need information, intelligent, credible, timely information to operate. And this so-called information they are seeking is in our pocket. Whatever happens somewhere, somebody must see it. Why we are reluctant to provide the security agencies with timely, credible, and informed information is what I don't know. More so when we all suffer, when these non-state actors strike. This is the more reason. It's an act of patriotism. And honestly, if we do it, we are doing it for ourselves. The country belongs to all of us. Chances are that bandits and terrorists will not go to Maitama. They will not even attempt to go to any eyebrow, well-secured areas. It is the far-flung suburbs and the satellite towns where the hewers of wood and drawers of water live. And that is the more reason why we must be proactive about it. We've been saying it here. We will not stop saying it. That prevention is not only better than cure, it is cheaper.
All right, you can join the conversation by calling us on 0903 2229 797. That's 0903 2229 797. You can also call us on 0818 205 or 0818 206. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM. This is Salami. Let's move to the Nation newspaper. And the lead story here says, make national interest priority. Gawon tells North leaders. Let's take this call up first. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Salami, good morning. This is Bode.
This is Bode. Bode, good morning.
Good morning. No, thanks for keeping up the good work. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
I will ask once more. I hope people are coping well.
Yeah.
Let's just keep hope alive. And I know at the end of the day, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. People are trying. It's not easy for every Nigerian these days.
That's the spirit.
Straight to the question. Just like what Mr. Salami said, I think I've read a glance of the bill. But just like what you said this morning, I think I will go to your website and check for the full bill and go through it. Now, I think what we needed is enlightenment. What federal government, that is what we are talking about, what is it, the information, NOA, is it called?
Yes, National Orientation Agency.
Yeah, they need to talk more. The money they are collecting, the budget that's being made for them, they need to make it more effective to Nigerians. Go to local radio, compare to those are the money that you people are supposed to be getting from government in advance. But somebody somewhere is eating that money. If proper information is being passed to the people, I don't think we'll have this. But because we heard the information, that is why Nigerians are not even sure. When government bring out bills like this, people complain about it. Just like what Shehu Sani said. The man has not read the bill, but he's blowing hot. Until when he was asked, have you read the bill? He said no. Why are you not blowing hot? Information is key to whatever government is doing. So NOA has a lot to do. And this is the time the presidency has to ask NOA what they are actually doing in passing information to Nigerians. Then, Lawrence, I need to bring to your notice, what are the banks and CBN doing to Nigerians? Are we doing another Naira redesigning? Lawrence, there's no money anywhere. The POS are holding the money, the banks are holding the money. Who do we now run to as a people? Please, somebody should answer us from the CBN or from the government. Lawrence, good morning.
Thank you so much, Jabode. It's always nice to hear from you. Yes, the lines are still open. You can call us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. Mr. Salami, this issue that Body just raised now, I think it's been lingering for a while now, this issue of cash.
It is real. It is real in the sense that last week I wanted to use my ATM card. I went to more than 6 ATM machine. There was no money. Yesterday, I couldn't use my ATM card because there was no money. And I told this POS man that, will you give me 20,000? He said, I will pay 900 naira. I said, no. I would rather wait until I'm able to use. But for how long? It is, I wouldn't know precisely what is going on. The bankers committee came up yesterday and said there was cash. Where do you have it? Where do you see, there is a need for us to be very, very sensitive. We all know what we went through during the redesigning of the currency. If you add 200 naira at that time, in fact, you are a millionaire. Never again.
Never.
We should not go through this route. Why do we always love to unleash hardship
and exploit
our people? I don't know. It is not in our interest.
Yes, talking about our interests, the former head of state of Nigeria, General Yakubu Gowon, is saying make national interest a priority. This is what he's telling the northern leaders. Members of the League of Northern Democrats yesterday got a candid advice from former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, that they should jettison sectional interest and champion the cause that serves Nigeria's collective interest. The former leader told the North's political elite that the sustenance of the ongoing democracy test on region. He urged the leaders of the region to prioritize the nation's collective good in its pursuits.
You see, one man I love very much is General Yakubu Gowon. And I want to believe God loves him too. Because, not only because of the longevity,